be your dining room table, or it could be your office, and offices are changing. Very few people work in capsules today. They work at home. It could be your dining room table, or it could You have to admit it was also inspired by Vusi, who makes
Whenever I start to break The deepest depths, the darkest nights. Can't separate, can't keep me from your sight. I get so lost, forget my way, but still you love, and you don't forget my name.
Good morning. Thank you so much for being with us today as we celebrate Secretary's Day in South Africa. We are so delighted you accepted our invitation to spend roughly 2.5 hours with us, and we welcome you with open hearts. The program, as you know, is going to be roughly 2.5 hours, and during the program you'll be listening to top speakers from South Africa as well as from abroad. Our theme is Make It Look Effortless. Every year we take a lot of care in choosing a theme for Secretary's Day, the PA Summit, and the PA Award, because we believe the theme should encapsulate the context in which we live, have some inspiration to it, and this is why we chose Make It Look Effortless. We have to admit it was also inspired by Vusi who makes his principles and perspectives about making it effortless very clear, and you will be hearing him later on. So we're very grateful to Vusi for actually being a catalyst for this theme as well. Make It Look Effortless is essentially because today nothing is fixed, certain. Everything has changed. The way we live, the way we work. We've all experienced since last year and our PA Summit, how things are moving at a pace we can really keep up with. And what is workplace? How do we make our work look effortless in this new definition of workplace? Because workplace today could be home, could be an office at home, could be your dining room table, or it could be your office, and offices are changing. Very few people work in capsules today. They work in a completely different style of open plan in the past. Many firms have created almost a hotel look rather than an office look. So workplace as a whole new definition. People speak of home office, mobile office, a hybrid working situation where some days you're home, some days you're in the office. There are some days at home, some days in the office, and some days you may not be at the same time as your bosses in the office. So it's become a very fluid situation where we have to work in this fluidity and still make ourselves look as we were producing our work effortlessly. There are positives to all of this because if we spend more time at home, we have more time with family, watch children. There are also negatives in that we may have less space and time for ourselves as the household is now full of people and noisy. So there is a new kind of stress that we experience now as people go noisy. So there is a new kind of stress that we experience now as people go noisy. So we ask, so there is a new kind of stress that we experience now as tell us. So we ask, so there is a new kind of stress that we experience now as tell us. So we ask, so there is a new kind of stress that we experience now as tell us. So we ask, so there is a new kind of listening that we experience now. So if you stay with us, so we ask, so there is a new kind of listening that we experience now. So if you stay with us, so we ask, so there is a new kind of listening that we experience now. So if you stay with us, so we ask, so there is a new kind of listening that we experience now. So if you stay with us, so we ask, so there is a new kind of listening that we experience now. So if you stay with us, so we ask, so there is a new kind of
And a big thank you to the South African PAs who contributed to the A to Z alphabet, identifying the key skills that define a professional, making it all look effortless. And now it is my privilege to introduce to you one of South Africa's homegrown gems, a guru with an impeccable global reputation. And it was through his usual wisdom that this year's theme came about. He's a global champion, public speaker. He's been considered as being in the 12 best speakers in the world by Meetingsnet. And his personal business acumen has influenced billions in capital through sitting on various boards. He was nominated as GQ Business Leader of the Year in 2019, and his book, The Magna Carta of Exponentiality, was a top seller. He has worked all over the world and is a regular contributor to CNBC and Forbes, and has appeared on BBC, CNN, and Bloomberg. So now let's hear him. Let's put our hands together for none other than the inimitable Vusi Thembekwayo.
Hey friends, I hope you're well. If you follow any pursuit or endeavor, any form of conquest, sports, business, arts, culture, anything where human beings endeavor to perform better than other human beings, there's something called the law of averages, which is that there are people who are below the average, but the average person fits into this big bowl in the middle called average. Then you get this tiny little group of people at the top. My fascination has always been with the people at the top. Think about the world's fastest man of all time, Usain Bolt. So is Usain Bolt the world's fastest man because he's more talented than anybody else? Or is he the world's fastest man because he has a genetic advantage? Or is he the world's fastest man because he has the best training? Is he the world's fastest man because he has access to the most advanced science? Or is he the world's fastest man because of all of those, and he's only 1% better than everybody else? I learned that I didn't have to be 100% better than everybody else. I didn't even have to be 10% better than everybody else. I only had to be 1% better than everybody else at everything. Go watch Shawn Rhoden when he won Mr. Olympia. I'll never forget, there's that shot of Shawn Rhoden coming out and there's the light from the back and you see Shawn Rhoden's waist this big and his shoulders that big and that beautiful arch up, right? Now, you're probably watching this going, why the hell is Vusi talking about bodybuilding? Let me tell you why I love things like bodybuilders and athletes. It's because they have to train tens of thousands of hours to make that 1% improvement. That additional 1% is tens of thousands of hours more than the 99% of the people beneath you. So, if you're busy studying for an exam, if you want to be right at the top of your pile, you got to make sure that you put in more hours. If you're training, you got to do that too. You're running a business, you got to be up earlier, sleep later, work harder when you're in it. So the top 1%, when they get there, they make it look effortless, which is the last thing I want to share with you. The curse of genius is it makes its gift look effortless. And so when you get to the top and you are that top 1%, one of the things you'll realize is people either won't recognize it, won't reward it, or won't give you your dues. Why? Because you make it look easy. If you're watching Usain Bolt run 100 meters, he makes it look easy. So you want to do it. So, your task, look at the things you do, look at where you want to improve, and just ask yourself, how much time are you putting in?
Hello all you lovely ladies and welcome to the PAFSA PA of the Year event. My name's Colin Underwood, I'm an entertainer. What? I'm an entertainer, a comedy magician. I'm an international comedy magician. I'm funny outside of the country, not here. I'll be coming along with some inserts, some magic, juggling and a whole lot of things for your entertainment. I know what you're thinking. Take your clothes off. No. Folks, this year's theme is making it look too easy. Well, that's your affair. I am battling to get through this presentation, which is only a few minutes long. So I think without further ado, let the magic begin.
There you go. That was Colin Underwood popping in with his usual fun and light-hearted manner to introduce topics and themes. Thank you, Colin. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce you to a speaker all the way from Canada, and she accepted to present on this day, Secretary's Day in South Africa. She is insightful, humorous, entertaining, even contagious. Those are the words that are often used to describe Rhonda Scharf. A speaker with the uncanny ability to look at the normal and see something quite different. She's a funny girl with funny stories and a fun way to look at life. She comes from a small town outside of a small town, and her small town, quirky look on life makes it all look so effortless when she addresses audiences. You are guaranteed to learn a thing or two on your career journey from her unique perspectives. Rhonda has been a professional speaker for over 25 years, has spoken in 17 countries so far, won a few awards, and has written a bunch of books. Her proudest accomplishment is finally breaking 95 on the golf course. Rhonda Scharf has been earning money from speaking, as it were, since she was 2 years old. Her mother used to offer her 25 cents to be quiet for 5 minutes. Since that time, she's figured out how to get clients to pay her to speak, but not to be quiet. Her mother and family still don't understand why. Well, we do, Rhonda, and it's a great pleasure to have you address us today.
Do you make it all look effortless? Does that come to you naturally? My name is Rhonda Scharf, and I can tell you that it does not come to me naturally. And most of us would agree, right? It looks easy, but it's not. I feel like I'm the duck on the pond where I look perfectly calm on the top and my legs are paddling at 100% underneath the water. Looks calm on the surface, not so calm on the top. And when I became an executive assistant to a senior VP of the company that I worked back many years ago when I was in my early 20s, I had no idea what I was doing. When I was growing up, it wasn't my goal to become a PA, an EA, an assistant, a secretary, anything. My goal was to be Mrs. John Bon Jovi. Still kind of is, by the way. But I went to college and I studied to be a nurse. And I realized that wasn't for me. So like many of you, I ended up working in an office and I loved it. I started as a receptionist and then I went to branch secretary. It was back in the 80s when we moved around and it didn't look bad. Ended up being promoted to executive assistant to a senior vice president. And I went into work every day feeling like I was going to get fired. I had no idea what I was doing. I wanted to be Mrs. John Bon Jovi, right? And this was in the 80s, so there was no Google. And you didn't necessarily go to the other secretaries and say, how did you do it? Because what you didn't want to let on is that you had no idea what you were doing. So every day, my knees would knock and I'd shake and I'd go to do my job. And I felt like a huge imposter. When I got the paycheck, I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. And I certainly didn't think that I did anything that looked effortless from my perspective. Now, I'm willing to bet that before anyone does anything that looks effortless, we all struggled with how it felt, and we all struggle with imposter syndrome. Researchers tell us that up to 70% of people suffer from imposter syndrome in one time or another in their life. Now, in my experience, virtually every PA I've ever met has suffered, because most of us are in this profession accidentally. Most of us learn as we go. Stuff changes daily, and it's not like we get a memo saying something is different. We learn on our feet. And so we have to learn to get over that imposter syndrome, and we have to learn to trust ourselves that we can do things effortlessly. So I'm going to share with you 2 key attributes that I have found very important in my attempts to look effortless at what I do, and I hope that they will work for you. The first one, stop trying to be perfect. Perfectionism is not your friend, because it causes us to set incredibly high standards for ourselves, which we're not likely to meet. Like, what we think we should be able to do everything perfect. I've been typing my whole life. Why can't I type perfectly? Because it doesn't work that way. You know, I've been an assistant forever. Why do I make stupid mistakes? Because you're human, and no one is perfect, right? We need to stop expecting ourselves to be perfect, and we need to stop comparing ourselves to others. Part of the reason we think we should be perfect is we look at other people and we think, oh, they're perfect. They're not perfect. So if you set yourself up to not make mistakes, to be perfect, you're being unrealistic, and it's an impossible goal, because at the end of the day, you're human, right? So you have to ask yourself, is this good enough? And when is good enough good enough? There are times when we really want to do things right. When you're planning your executive's travel, don't mess up on that, right? Like, there's certain things we need to spend that other time. And then there's other times when our good enough is good enough. And it's not that it's not perfect. We just did it faster. So we would love to all be perfect, but we need to stop feeling that we need to, and stop comparing ourselves to others. Like, as you look at the awards ceremony, do you sit there and go, I could never win. That's not me. Well, maybe that's not true. Maybe it could be you, right? And congratulations to everyone who puts themselves out there, because they are willing to say, I might not win, but I'm good enough. And congratulations for that. Stop expecting that you need to be the best perfect PA, the best wife, the best husband, the best sister, the best brother, the best mother, the best father, the best friend. Because you don't have to be the best. You do have to be good enough. And when you're good enough, you make it look effortless, because it is natural, right? My husband and I, Warren, live on the river outside of Ottawa, Ontario in Canada. So we get that thawed river a few months of the year. And for many years, I have wanted to paddleboard. So a couple of years ago, we went on vacation and I rented a paddleboard, and I was so nervous. My knees were knocking. And of course, I fell into the water a few times. It was on the Gulf of Mexico. We were in Mexico, and it was on the Gulf of Mexico, and the water was not calm like you see in this picture. It was a little rough, and I was scared to death. And I kept saying to Warren, I want to buy a paddleboard. I want to buy a paddleboard. And he's like, yeah, we'll never use it. We'll never use it. Well, I finally convinced him. Now, Warren is a natural athlete, so I wasn't even remotely worried about him. So the first time we get the paddleboard, we get it all ready. I explain how you stand on it, how you get up, all that sort of stuff. And, we go through all the motions, and he's like, yeah, I got it. He gets on that paddleboard like he's been doing it his entire life. He was a natural. So he went up and down the river for about an hour. And I'm like, I haven't been on a paddleboard for an hour. Like, I get exhausted because my muscles are so tight. I'm so nervous about falling in. And so I was thinking about looking at him going, he makes this look so effortless. And I look like I'm about to drown, which is pretty funny because our river is not very deep. And so if I were to fall off in the river, I wouldn't even go under. Like, it's not over my head. I could actually give up and walk home and carry the paddleboard with me. I was so scared. And I'm looking at him going, I want to be like him. So he brings the paddleboard back and he's like, yeah, that was good. Yeah, excellent. And I felt like a total fraud, as I wasn't anywhere as good as he was. And I'd done it for many times. A lot of us can think about our job the same way, right? I felt that because I'd been doing it longer than Warren had, that I should have been a better paddleboarder, and I just wasn't. So the next day, Warren gets up, he gets out of bed and he's like, oh, I'm so stiff and sore. And I'm like, why? And he goes, well, I was really tense on that paddleboard. I was afraid to fall in. I was completely shocked. He said that while he was on the paddleboard, he felt that his knees were knocking, his muscles were uptight, and he just kept going because he figured he relaxed. And he said, paddleboarding is very hard. And I'm like, yes, it is. And a little piece of me was jumping inside with woohoo that he was sore. And then he admitted that it wasn't nearly as easy as I thought it was. I was really angry at me because I wanted to be better at it. I felt I'd done more of it, right? And he just stood up there and made it look like it was a cakewalk. So what we need to do is stop comparing ourselves to others. I don't need to compare myself to Warren. He may make it look easy, but that doesn't mean it was. And he's the first to tell you now that paddleboarding isn't nearly as easy as you think it is. And the second attribute that I want to share with you about making things look effortless is the answer is always yes. If you are asked to do something, yes. Now, I don't mean get taken advantage of at work and something like that. But if somebody wants you to do something that's a little bit of a stretch for you to learn, that's going to cause you to get maybe those knocking knees a little bit, the answer is yes. You learn when you say yes. You hold yourself back when you say no. And when you say no, you're not learning to make things look so natural and effortless. Say yes, and then figure out how to do it. You've got a huge admin community that is more than happy to help you out as well. And the first time you do something that you said yes to that you had never done before, give yourself permission to be less than perfect. We all can't paddleboard perfectly our first time out. We all can't make everything look effortless. No one can with everything, but we can push ourselves to do more and give ourselves permission to learn. That is the easy way to make things look effortless. Try, and good luck.
Well, there you have it. Rhonda Scharf giving us a brand new take on the old learn to say no, and by advising us to learn to say yes, but for the reasons she gives, which are very valuable indeed. Thank you, Rhonda. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce you to Diana Brandl. She lives in Germany, but speaks all over the world on her favorite subjects, such as digital transformation, new world of work, personal branding, and strategic networking. She herself is a strategic networker by joining organizations that are profession related, such as the IMA, which she joined in 2006, and IAP in the United States. Diana writes her own blog, The Socialista Project, and influences the industry with her creative initiatives, such as launching the hashtag We Are In This Together. She created the Future Assistant podcast in 2020 and has interviewed assistants to famous executives and celebrities, such as the former executive assistant to Jeff Bezos and Barack Obama. She describes herself as a digital native, and she loves teaching firsthand what it means to work with millennial managers. Diana was also named as Woman of the Week by the Global Digital Women and has been nominated for the Digital Female Leader of the Award. Not surprising. Well done. And let's put our hands together for Diana Brandl.
Hello, everybody from Germany. My name is Diana Brandl, and I'm very honored to be part of your event today. I have been an executive assistant for more than 20 years, and now I'm working since 5 years as an international keynote speaker, trainer, consultant. I have my own podcast, which is called The Future Assistant, so make sure you visit me over there. I do have a mixture of German and English episodes. And I'm one of yours. And this is why I feel so strongly connected to our profession. This is why I constantly empower assistants all over the world in my trainings to become a future assistant, to know exactly how important your skills are in order to tackle the challenges of the future. And it's not always easy. We all know that the digitization is here, AI is there, ever demanding jobs are out there. Our executives become younger, they become more dynamic, they become more independent. So the classical assistant, of course, is something we won't see in a couple of years anymore. We're not going to do calendar management. We're not going to do travel management, because this is something a self-organized organization and company are going to do themselves. This is why an agile mindset is so important in order to shape the future. So this is what I always put up first here. Have an agile mindset. Know exactly how important it is not only to accept the change, but to push the change, to shape the change, to be part of the change. So don't hide away when there's a new tool coming and you are frustrated because you are not very much connected to technology. And you have to learn this tool because it's crucial. It's crucial for your success. It's crucial for the success of you and your manager, because being a digital expert is something that is, of course, out there. We have to learn the tools. We have to be tech savvy. We have to be open-minded. And once again, the agile working space out there connected with our agile mind shift is very important. So don't hide away, be an early adapter, move forward, hold up your hand and be part of these wonderful projects. They are waiting for you. Don't wait for an invitation, and no one is going to invite us to have a seat at the table if we don't do the storytelling, if we don't go out there and say, hey, I have a voice, I have skills, I have talents, and I want to bring this to the table because I believe that I can contribute to this project. So don't wait for this invitation. Go out, have a dialogue with your executive, make sure that you build a strong network to relevant people, strategic allies in your company, which is for sure the human resources department. They need to understand our future roles. And I have to tell you, of course, in this pandemic, it has been even more challenging for assistants. We hear all the negative news all over the world that some companies believe that assistants are not needed anymore. When you look at the future jobs chart by the year 2025 coming from the World Economic Forum, and you see the decreasing job demand, you're going to find our profession there on number 2, which is devastating news, of course. But are we accepting these news? No, we are ready to fight. We want to showcase our skills. We want to tell everyone what else we have in our portfolio. But it's your individual duty to do that, to go out there, to do the storytelling, to let everyone know what you would love to do, what you would love to learn, how you want to upskill and how you want to level up. And this is only happening if we go into dialogues. So I really want to encourage you to invest also in your personal branding, because this is also a key factor for future assistants. Create your brand on social media. Create your brand also within your company. Make sure that people know you, people know your work, people know your values, people know your principles. I think this is really, really important that we start building the bridges, and we should not be afraid of reaching out to higher hierarchies in a company. Have this coffee with a manager, reach out to this vice president, be interested in their work, so they are going to be interested in your work as well. So this is why assistants sometimes need this extra push when it comes to personal branding, when it comes to storytelling. Because of a lot of assistants keep telling me in my trainings, Diana, I love to be in the second row. I don't want to be in the spotlight. This is where my boss belongs. And I say, yes, that's also part of your philosophy. That is part of your personality. And not every one of us loves to be on stage. I have been in the background all my years. I was not not aware that I will be a trainer one time, because I loved my role as an assistant being in the background. But I learned to be out there. I learned to do the storytelling, and I learned how important it is that you create this brand for yourself, right? So make sure you find a mentor. Make sure you really, really work and learn from other people who are maybe a few extra miles further than you, because this is how we learn from people who reach that milestone already that you would like to reach, right? Always make sure that you have people in your circle that are better than you, because this is the way we can learn from them. I had my whole life incredible mentors and coaches around me. I still work with a coach, because it's about never stop learning. We all can learn, and we all should never rest. We all should stay curious and really, really stay hungry for knowledge. And I think this is also one of the core competencies of the future, that you are reaching out to your networks, that you are investing in peer group learning, that you are part of associations like this one here, and that you share your knowledge, because those who share are true leaders to me. And you as an assistant, you are a leader. And for some assistants, this is also a quite hard to tackle term, that we feel like, are we a leader? Yes, of course we are leaders. But a lot of assistants connect leadership with hierarchy. And they say, well, my boss is a leader. How can I be a leader? But you are leading every single day. The way you are managing a calendar, the way you are sharing knowledge, the way you are building bridges. You are a mediator, you are a mentor, you are a multiplier. You bring people together, you connect people. You also are a wonderful advocate of your profession, right? And this is why I believe one of the future skills is also being a leader, and invest in leadership. And also look at these wonderful projects that are waiting for you, where you can prove your leadership. I remember in one of my previous companies, I all of a sudden was a supervisor of 3 office managers. Nobody prepared me to be a manager myself, but I loved it. I really, really enjoyed this role, because it helped me to level up. It helped me to grow. So having a growth mindset is something that I also connect with future skills, that we should never, never rest, and always stay curious and go out there and find out what's waiting for us. And this is also my job, to help you, of course, and to navigate together with you through the not always easy future, of course. We will be challenged by many, many obstacles. But as long as we know who we are, and what DNA we have, what skill set we have, and what fingerprint is mine. That's my personality, and every one of you has their own fingerprints. No one is able to steal this away from you. This makes you unique. So it's time that we showcase this wonderful fingerprint, because you have been investing in this fingerprint for the past years. You've been training, you've been always upskilling, but now the journey is not over, because now we need to focus on agile working methods. We need to focus on digitization. We need to focus on productivity tools and apps. But also, as I said, we need to focus on leadership, right? So these are very, very important skills I really want to mention here, because this is what you're going to need in order to tackle the challenges of the future. This is what we're going to see, especially from the younger generations of managers who are coming more and more to the modern workplace. This is what they are expecting from us. They are not giving you feedback on the basis of a perfect calendar. They are giving you a feedback how you can really help them become more efficiency in other situations. So nowadays, since we've been experiencing because of the pandemic, and we are still in this pandemic, we've been experiencing how important a remote workplace is, how important it is to run effective virtual meetings, maybe even discovering new roles in the organization of virtual meetings. Why not thinking of being a facilitator or a moderator? This is where a new strength for assistants should definitely be. And I've been teaching, especially last year, many, many workshops on how to become an efficient online meeting moderator for assistants. And I never had this in my portfolio before. So even with this crisis, for me, it was clear that I needed to to establish new programs for you as my audience in order to really level up and become a future assistant. So conducting online meetings as a moderator was one of them. But also, as I've been mentioning, is the topic around agile working. There are many agile working methods, and maybe your companies are working with them already. Speaking of design thinking, speaking of Scrum, speaking of lean office management. So these are the keywords you need to focus on and look for specific training. And if you're interested in getting to know more about Scrum, you can always reach out to me. A colleague and I, we've been creating this course, and it's just wonderful to see how assistants really see this wonderful opportunity to become a Scrum master, because once again, it is helping you to grow your brand, to grow your profile, so that the people in your organization will see you from a different perspective, and they will automatically see how they can use you in various projects, right? And this is exactly where we are heading, and this is what is needed in the future, because technology is challenging, and technology can be also a little bit, as we all know, disruptive. So there's a digital assistant coming around the corner. There's tools and apps. We have to adapt to them. We have to be fast. We have to learn. We have to use them every single day. And I don't know if a digital assistant like Alexa or Siri is going to take over our jobs in the future. I don't think so, but we have to be prepared. We even have to learn how we can use these tools and apps and digital assistants in order to make our work more efficient. So this is why I always say, don't shy away. Grab your digital tools, learn from them, and see how you can integrate them in your everyday work. Teach your executives how they can use it, because especially the younger millennial manager generation, they are super tech savvy. They love to explore new apps and tools, and this is what they're going to expect from their assistants. This is why I always say the Trend Scout is a very crucial role. And also when it comes to the new ways of working, we've been seeing a lot of change coming to organizations during the pandemic. Everything was virtual. But what is the future? How is your workplace going to look like? Are you going to go back to the office full time? Is it a hybrid working space? So here you go. This is where assistant needs to get involved. How does a hybrid working space look like? What do I need to know as an assistant? How can I keep the teams together? Part of the team is working from home. Part of the team is working from the office. So how can you create a momentum? How can you create a team spirit? So this is exactly where you should need to jump in and discover opportunities together with your executives, how to create a wonderful hybrid working environment. So there are great opportunities waiting for you, and it's just in your hand to become active. And as I was saying earlier, don't wait for an invitation. Grab that chair. We have access to the management table. You are sitting in a lot of meetings, you're writing the minutes, you're organizing these minutes. So now is the time that we really have a voice, that people listen to us, that we come with proactive suggestions, and that we tell our bosses and managers and team members how we can support them even more in the future. It is all in your hands. And I can only tell you, I'm here for you. I'm supporting you. I will encourage you. I will empower you as much as I can. This is my job to do. So make sure you go out there. You are seen. You are heard. Start, drumming a little bit and invest in your personal brand. And don't be shy. Don't be afraid of being out there. Don't be afraid of having a voice, because this is the way we need to act in the future, to be seen and to be heard. So I wish you all the best for the wonderful ideas you are going to bring to the table. You're going to explore together with your executives. I would love to hear from you. Make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn. I would love to have you over at the Future Assistant podcast, where you're going to get a lot of inspiration from people I interviewed, such as the former assistant to Jeff Bezos or the former assistant to Barack Obama. They're going to inspire all of us. And this is the way I think we can conquer the future. Sending you all my best from Europe, from Germany, and take good care. It's wonderful to be part of this event. And thank you once again to the organizers for inviting me. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Diana. Gosh, So much wisdom from one beautiful lady with such a lovely smile. When I grow up, I want to be able to smile just like you. And now it's time for the big moment. The PA of the Year Award ceremony starts now. And PAFSA is delighted to organize and host the PA of the Year Award annually. And we've had some truly great finalists and title bearers over the years. We're now in the 16th edition of South Africa's PA of the Year Award, and we continue with this award, which is so meritorious in recognizing quality support, excellent support in the workplace, because without the highly efficient support of PAs, EAs, and office managers, there would be less effective executives. So the efficiency and effectiveness have to work hand in hand. I would like, on behalf of PAFSA, to thank all the nominators in South Africa who nominate their candidates every year. What a privilege it is to have someone nominate, and how nice it is for the nominator to take time to recognize excellence and nominate a candidate. So thank you, nominators. And now a special word to the semi-finalists of 2021. You did a great job. The judges had a great time getting to the semi-finalists, and they enjoyed the task. And congratulations to the 9. Well done. May you continue to do us proud. And of course, the nominators this year who got to nominate the 6 candidates who made it to the finals must be feeling very proud right now that their candidate rose all the way to the top. And congratulations to the 6 finalists that you will be meeting soon. And I'm going to mention one by one. Firstly, Ashton Beretta. She is described as being very fast and basically does things before you even finished asking for them. Ashton delivers on time. There's nothing she cannot do, and she just makes life better. Carol Ann Martins. We are told Carol Ann is an absolute star with a huge personality, and she takes special care of all her colleagues. She's always friendly, organized, and is a delight to have around. Elriska Grobelaar. Elriska goes above and beyond her duties every day. Her efficiency and passion is awe-inspiring. She does not know half measures. Everything is done with creativity and commitment. Elzaan Snyman. Elzaan gives exceptional support to 4 executives in the Sanlam Group Corporate Business Cluster. She's currently a finalist in the Sanlam's 2021 Group PA of the Year competition. Elzaan is described as a role model and mentor to her fellow PAs inside and outside of the organization. Liesl Korb, the 5th finalist. Liesl carries herself with elegance, her nominator tells us, tenacity and discipline. A professional who strives for excellence in all spheres of the PA spectrum in an ever-changing environment. Tracy Masimola. Tracy is described as being patient, hardworking, kind, respectful, with amazing skills, but very humble. She goes beyond just being a PA, and her response time to any query is instant. So I'm very proud of our 6 finalists this year, and we will get to meet them one by one. They will first come in, the first 3 finalists. There will be a little entertainment break, and then the second 3 finalists. Lastly, an enormous thank you to Renee Portleither, who is the chair of this award. Renee does not know what it's like to sleep at night. She just gives us all, every year, patiently and professionally, caring about the entries, the semi-finalists, the judges, and eventually the finalists. PAFSA thanks you, Renee. God bless. And now, ladies and gentlemen, over to the finalists. Thank you.
Congratulations on being a finalist. I will be asking you 3 questions, and you please answer each one after I've finished reading it to you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Good. Question 1. When you have a workload that requires simultaneous attention to 4 urgent tasks, how do you go about deciding how to sequence them?
Well, what I usually do is I go through all of the tasks that have been given to me, and I look at the priority and the deadline of them and the workload that is involved in each individual task. And then I will order them in in a sequence that the most urgent ones are done first.
Thank you. Question 2. What systems do you use to keep on track and never fail to deliver on your deadlines?
I usually keep an electronic diary as well as a normal diary in my book. And I write down all of the tasks that I need to do on specific days. And then I'll also put a reminder in a few days prior to when they are due so that I can make sure that I do them on time.
Thank you again. With the current technology available and your boss can do some of the work him or herself, where have you come in as most useful?
I usually do my best to take all of the workload that I can off of my boss and my manager and also my colleagues. And wherever they have mentored me, I'll put in that knowledge that I've learned as much as I can to fulfill their tasks for them so that they can focus on more important tasks that they have.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
And be a proud PA of the Year Ambassador. It is a huge privilege, and I'm looking forward to see you on Secretary's Day. That's going to be awesome.
Thank you.
Go well.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Great. Hi, Carol Ann. How are you?
Hi, Lynn. Good, and you?
Good, good. Congratulations on being a finalist. I will be asking you 3 questions, and please answer each one after I've finished reading it to you. Is that okay?
That's perfect. Thank you very much for the warm welcome.
No problem. Good luck. Your first question is, you and your boss are on a frantic deadline that requires both your and your boss's attention, and you are both stretched to the limit. When an angry customer phones in to threaten, he will go to the media unless he gets to speak with your boss and gets his or her immediate attention to solve the problem. What would you do?
Okay. Firstly, before I involve my boss, I would try and calm the client down. I would ask the client for all the necessary background and ask him if he could give me at least 5 minutes to speak to the relevant departments, get all the information that is required, so that when I do go to my boss, I can say to him that I have done a bit of an investigation. This is what I found out, and we are actually at fault. And would he mind if I could take 15 minutes of his time and phone the client back and ask the client if he's happy now to speak to my boss, and hopefully that way we can resolve the issue before involving the media.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Your second question, you are at a company event and one of the booked speakers phones you to tell you that on his way he was involved in a car accident and fears he is not going to make it to deliver the after lunch keynote. What would you do?
Okay. As it is my nature and my personality I am very much OCD. So first of all, I would always have a backup speaker. So in the event of the gentleman calling me to let me know that he won't make it, when we do the lunchtime break, I will make an announcement and let the people know that unfortunately the guest speaker has been involved in an accident and won't make his time slot, but X, Y, and Z has already been prepped and they are ready to stand in and do the presentation, and we will keep the event flowing as per the agenda.
Thanks again. Great. Your third question. With the current technology available and your boss that can do some of the work him or herself, what have you had to learn to adjust to the new expectations of you?
Okay, I'm very fortunate that I have bosses that don't micromanage me. I have deadlines and events and things that I do on a monthly basis. And so basically, if I can say, I'm left to my own demise. I proceed with what needs to be done. Once the items are completed and the documents screened and up to standard, I submit them to my boss. We have a shared folder, and via Teams, I just drop them a message and I say to them, okay, the newsletter is complete. It's ready for your review. Let me know when you're happy. And the same with our monthly staff engagement. I liaise with speakers. I get the agenda together, make sure I get all the presentations, create the slide deck, and send out all the invites and do the recordings and all of that. So in the situation we're in, we have a company website, well, a departmental website. So all our documents and things are uploaded onto that website and the links shared with the staff, and we have an archive of the presentations as well as the recordings. So basically, I think we work well from home, even though I miss the interaction with staff.
There you go. Thank you. And please be a proud PA of the Year ambassador. I wish you the best of luck and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate your time as well.
I will be asking you 3 questions, and please answer each one after I have finished reading it to you. So your first question from set A. When you have a workload that requires simultaneous attention to 4 urgent tasks, how do you go about deciding how to sequence them? You may answer.
First of all, I would definitely start by communicating with the 4 different stakeholders to ensure that I know exact deadlines for all the tasks. And then I would set urgency. I understand that it's important, all of them are urgent, but communication is key here to ensure that you get everything done at the same time, but also focus on ensuring that how can we put it, the most important gets done first.
Okay, thanks. The second question, what systems do you use to keep on track and never fail to deliver on your deadlines?
Okay, so I have to say I always have a pen and paper close by. So I use my master list. I write down. I prefer to write down things on a notepad to make sure that I can scratch it off and feel that sense of achievement once it's done. But I also have set deadlines for myself by setting reminders on Microsoft Outlook. It's important for me to have that on-screen notifications as well as my list. And yes, I actually reward myself after achieving each task that I scratch out. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, your third question. With the current technology available and your boss can do some of the work him or herself, where have you come in as most useful?
I must say that yes, with the current situation, both my managers have actually reverted to being very technology driven and adaptable to that. So what I do is they actually sometimes schedule their own meetings, you know, the meetings that's not, I won't say it's not as important, but not the big meetings. Like if it's small meetings that they schedule, I still keep track and make sure that they don't overbook themselves from time to time. So that is very important for me.
Okay, that's awesome. There you go. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that was basically, I don't know, I feel that I've answered, and I must say I feel very privileged to be part of the Peyote tribe. It sounds very, very exciting.
It is. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, and be a proud PA of the Year ambassador. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Verosa.
To start the juggling sequence, to make everything look possible with a lot of hard work and practice. 12-ball juggling. Here we go. 1, 2, up. Yeah. Yeah, baby, yeah. Oh, come on. Yes, folks, you've heard of one-handed juggling. I use 2 hands. Very, very difficult. Of course, I was going through customs and they said, have you got any arms to declare? Don't shoot! Anyway, what's a juggler without 3 hands? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, 3-hand juggling. Here it is. You've got to make sure these arms are checked before you do it. Checked. Here we are, 3-handed juggling for your edification and entertainment pleasure. And now something special for all you lovely ladies out there. I'm going to show you the secret to juggling. First of all, 3-ball juggling looks like this. The secret is keep an eye on the balls. This ball here with this eye. Okay, this one, not this one. Okay, the next thing is backward juggling. Wah, wah, wah. This is called the 1-2 trick. People in the back, you can probably see it. Spectacular. Up in the air, down below, and of course, the floor juggling. It was part of the show. The taxman, gimme. You're in arrears, gimme. You've seen how juggling looks effortless. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, it takes hours of practice. Trust me. The other way, another skill that I have, is the magic skills, which really help in making things look effortless. We all know the Rubik's Cube. It's the well-known puzzle. Millions have been sold around the world. This has kept people up, no sleep. But here is the way the magicians do it, making it look effortless in solving the cube in less than 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, making it look effortless. I can't believe it. Hands up who thinks I'm cheating. Hands up who thinks I'm not cheating. Hands up who doesn't give a damn, just get off because we want to see the other 3 contestants. No, you've got it all wrong, ladies, because this is a little bit of refreshment during the break. Cheers. The 10 Rand note has the two circles of the 10. The idea is to line it up in such a way that it looks like the 100. It's just the way you fold it. It's not actually a trick. It's a pretty good one, and people think you're a real magician, making it look effortless. I want you all to please post your 100 rands to me, and I will turn them into 200 rand notes for you. I promise to post them back. And now, without further ado, let's bring back the other 3 contestants. Good luck to all.
I will be asking you 3 questions, and please answer each one of them after I have finished reading it to you.
Hello, Alice. Thank you.
Your first question. When you have a workload that requires simultaneous attention to 4 urgent tasks, how do you go about deciding how to sequence them?
All right, if I have 4 tasks that are all urgent, I'll quickly go through them, make sure that I understand exactly what they're about, and determine which one I can do in the shortest time. And I'll get that one out of the way first. If they're all will take up the same time, I'll discuss it with my manager to see which one he believes should be the first priority. If it's different managers, I'll get them all in one meeting or in one room, and they can prioritize which one should be done first, and I'll do it in that way.
Thank you. Your second question. What systems do you use to keep on track and never fail to deliver on your deadlines?
All right, that will be reminders. I use my diary, my Outlook diary, put in reminders for every day until the deadline. So I'll break up the task into smaller parts and give myself time to finalize each task within a certain time frame until at the end I've completed the entire task.
Thanks again. And the third question. With the current technology available and your boss can do some of the work him or herself, where have you come in as most useful?
My manager does a lot of his work himself, but I think, let me think about this now. Things that I can see up front, I do proactively, I'll see these things that I can take off his plate. I'll do that. Schedule meetings up front without him asking me to do so. Checking in with his team, making sure everybody is still fine and healthy and they're coping, and then giving him a heads up as soon as I see there's a problem that's somewhere in the business that he needs to be aware of.
Awesome. There you go. Thank you. And be a proud PA of the Year ambassador. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Secretary's Day.
Thank you very much, Alice.
Welcome. Hello, Liesel.
Hello, Lisa.
Congratulations on being a finalist.
Thank you very much.
I will be asking, it's a pleasure and all the best towards this final stretch of the interview process.
Thank you.
I will be asking you 3 questions and please answer each one after I have finished reading it to you. Here with your first question. When you have a workload that requires simultaneous attention to the 4 urgent tasks, how do you go about deciding how to sequence them?
The workloads having simultaneous tasks and deadlines will have to be in the order of priority which my employer prefers. Obviously, in the tasks that are the most important in terms of his deadline will get priority, and those tasks will be started off by being completed or getting the most attention at the start, but obviously continuously being in conjunction with my director's guidance. That would be the way I would assess it. Spread it out and diarize it very clearly that we don't miss the deadlines, having each project get the same amount of attention and the same amount of guidance from him.
Thank you. Question 2. What systems do you use to keep on track and never fail to deliver on your deadlines?
I've found over the years from experience that the old to-do list is the best way, whether you be it technology on the computer, on a technological manner, or in your diary. What is nice that when I keep it in my diary, I have a to-do list on my screen, which I copy every day to my boss, and he will know exactly where we are and how we keep track. He can then also add to that, and tomorrow morning on my email, I can find things that he's added, or on Teams on a shared file, and we can actually just touch base every now and then of how far we are with what. And we found that to be very, very good. And yes, sometimes the ball does fall off the chair, but in the most instances, we do cover most bases, and it's worked very well. I double check myself in a diary, which has never failed. A diary and a secretary has to be the best friends, and that's how I do my business.
Wonderful. Thank you, Liesel. There is some slight delay sometimes when you answer your question, but if there's a problem, I will tell you that we might just have to re-answer the questions. But for now, it's all good. All right. Question 3. With the current technology available and your boss can do some of the work, him or herself, where have you come in as most useful?
I do understand in my environment, my usefulness has come with out of the office. Yes, in my job description, there is very much technical aspects in terms of quotations, which Sean, who is my boss, can handle very well. I then take away from him what he doesn't need to do behind a desk or behind the technological side, which makes his life much easier. So yes, it's a hand in hand. There are times where I then take whatever he's prepared and run with it further, but we take each other's hands. Whatever he can do in the beginning, he does. Afterwards, I take it over. Otherwise, I give him the space to do what he needs to do and take the day-to-day running of the mall of the office, or even his private life, and take that away from him and run with that. So yes, we do liaise, and obviously we hand over to technological tasks when the time comes and when it is required. But it depends on the day, and it depends what is actually on the table for that day, how we handle it, and who overlaps where and how we hand it over. But yes, it does overlap, but sometimes he does need some preparation time on his own, which I then take away from him. Does that answer it?
Wonderful. Yes, wonderful. Thank you. That was all the questions. And you can be proud to be a PA of the Year ambassador. Anna Maria will be in touch with you shortly, and I wish you all the best and good luck for the rest of the journey. But congratulations and welcome to the family.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for the
Thanks, Lisa.
opportunity.
I will be asking you 3 questions, and please answer each one after I have finished reading it to you.
Okay.
You've chosen set A. So the first question of set A: when you have a workload that requires simultaneous attention to 4 urgent tasks, how do you go about deciding how to sequence them?
Okay, thanks, Rosa, for the question. I think working for more than one executive at a time has been quite a lesson for me because I've learned to prioritize. So what I normally do whenever I receive urgent tasks and trying to sequence them is I'll go through each and every task and see which one I understand better. And then in that manner, I think it always works better for me to prioritize and just know which one that I understand better. And I always find it easier that if I start with the one that I understand better, then it works much more faster for me. And then I'm able to prioritize and deliver all the tasks at hand.
Excellent. Question 2. What systems do you use to keep on track and never fail to deliver on your deadlines?
Okay, thank you. I've learned that, being tech savvy is quite helpful. My Outlook is on my phone. My Outlook is on my laptop. So what I do is whenever I receive a task, I always put it on my Outlook task. And therefore, I set a reminder for the deadline and, for the next day, if I received the task a bit late, for me to be reminded that, listen, you have this thing. And wherever I go with my notebook, as you can see it. Wherever I go, I've got a pen and a book, and I write everything that I'm receiving, and then transfer it to the laptop so that I can set reminders. So I always have 3 reminders to do it on the next day, and if I'm unable to perform the task on the next day, therefore I always try to snooze it or set it for the next day. And I've found out that, using technology has really helped me quite a lot. So I used Microsoft Outlook and, the task, Microsoft Tasks, and set reminders and my notebook. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Your third question: with the current technology available and your boss can do some of the work him or herself, where have you come in as most useful?
Thank you. I must say that with technology, or rather with the pandemic, it has taught us to be tech savvy. While I was home when the lockdown was implemented, I found it quite difficult to try and assist my boss there and then. However, we have found out that working simultaneously quite helps a lot. Therefore, I will know what he's working on and try to send researchers as much as I can, or try to assist as much as I can. Therefore, with me being tech savvy, that's where I come in, because he's still I'm still working more of paper. Therefore, I will do or assist with the proofreading. I will assist with the formatting. I will assist with the company branding, as all companies have their own branding, their own formatting. Therefore, I always find it easy for me to assist him, even though he is independent and doing the work, making it the final looks, ensuring that everything is still as per the company branding. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. That's the 3 questions, and you must be a proud PA of the Year ambassador. And I wish you all the best.
Well, now we have met them and we have heard them. the 6 finalists for the 2021 edition of the PA of the Year Award in South Africa. I wish them the best, and whoever will take the title will be the ambassador for the other 5 and for the profession. Now it is time for our keynote address, and it is my great pleasure to introduce you to Grant Driver. Coach, trainer, facilitator, consultant, Grant Driver is known for guiding people to create and master positive change in their life and gain mastery in their careers through either his seminars, self-mastery courses, keynote presentations, retreats, or exclusive coaching and mentoring interventions. He has been invited to speak in over 25 countries and has received numerous awards and accolades as a speaking and coaching professional. He works with leading blue-chip organizations across all industries to drive an engaged and customer-centric culture, and is the executive coach to high-profile business leaders. As a passionate researcher, writer, and teacher on the subjects of personal mastery, self-healing, and purpose, Grant translates his knowledge into practical and life-changing insights for his audiences and readers. We managed to track him down to contribute to this year's Secretary's Day PA Summit, and so without further ado, it is my great honor to hand over to the man with a golden voice and a platinum mind.
Hello there, and welcome to Rediscovering Joy with me, Grant Driver. I'm often asked if Grant Driver is really my name, or is it a stage name? It really is my name, but growing up with the surname Driver wasn't easy, because when I was a child, I was called everything from bus driver to screwdriver, and that's how it goes when you have a name like Grant Driver. But many, many, many years ago, I was dating a really nice girl, and we went out for dinner. It was such a romantic evening. And I looked at this girl, and I realized that I could never marry her. And the reason being is that my surname is Driver, and her first name is Laurie, and she would have been Laurie Driver. So I had to call that off. So yeah, Grant Driver is my name, and it's not a stage name, and I'm here hopefully to help you drive some changes in your life. Now, the last year and a half has been pretty interesting for most of us, and I think most of us feel a bit like this, that we're in some sort of cartoon, and that somebody else is creating the story around us. And I think that for many people, you feel just like this, that you are in this cartoon, that you have no charge or can't take charge of your reality. And the truth is that you can. This picture was taken at a shopping center just a couple of days ago. And yeah, I was having a bit of fun. Somebody said that looks like a scene out of one of the AHA movies or movie clips. But I really wanted to just explain that ultimately this is your life, and you have the ability to take charge of it, to drive the change in your life. So yeah, you're not in your own cartoon story. You are in your story, but this is a story that you can change and you can rewrite if necessary. And I think what we need to really do is understand that we can get our joy back in life, because it seems that a lot of people are feeling that there is no more joy in life. There's nothing to look forward to. There's nothing to be excited about. And I think that's quite sad. And many people feel that their life is a bit of a roller coaster. It's up and it's down, and it's up and it's down. And I guess life can be like that. It can feel like a bit of a roller coaster at times. But ultimately, this is your life. And I believe that we all have the opportunity to take our lives back and to create more meaning, more purpose in our lives, and to find that joy, reconnect to that feeling of joy that seems to have escaped many of us over the past year and a half. So this particular presentation is based upon my experience of working with many people over the past year and a half that I've coached through the difficult times, clients in both corporations and in their private capacity. So I'm hoping that this session, 15 minutes or so, will help you to reconnect to the joy that exists within you. During tough times, it's very easy to be overwhelmed with everything that's going on around you. And one of the best books that I've ever read is a book written by Viktor Frankl called Man's Search for Meaning. And in this book, he says that everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances and to choose one's own way. What he's really saying is that regardless of the situation or circumstances that you find yourself in, you can take it back. You have the power to do that. So this presentation is all about you. It's about you empowering yourself again, about you reconnecting to that feeling of joy, and hopefully in doing so, bringing joy into the lives of other people. Joy is obviously an emotion, but it's not an ordinary emotion. It's a very powerful emotion. And according to the Oxford Dictionary, it's a very strong feeling of happiness. That's what joy is, a very strong feeling of happiness. But now feelings and thoughts are very powerful. And if we want to change our reality, if we want to change our lives, then we have to take charge of our thoughts and of our feelings. And there's a very strong relationship between our thoughts and our feelings. And why do I say that? Well, neuroscience shows us that whenever we have a thought, we have a corresponding emotion. So as we think, so we feel. So if we really want to start changing our reality, if we want to start to feel better, then we have to start to manage our thoughts. Research shows us that we have between 40 to 50,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thinking. What are you all thinking about? A lot of thinking going on there. But remember that with every thought, there is a feeling. So in order to change your reality, you have to become very aware of the thoughts that you are experiencing. So thoughts are very, very powerful. And the reason why I say that is research also shows us that thoughts have energy. So the saying that as we think, so we create and so we manifest is very, very true and very powerful. As we think, so we create and so we manifest. Every thought has energy. So what are you putting out there into the world? And remember that as you think, so you activate the glands, and therefore you experience an emotion, and they work together. So to change your reality, you really have to become very aware of your thoughts and your emotions. It is said that happiness is a physical state of the brain. It is a state of the brain. And it is a state that can be accessed. But I think what happens in difficult times such as these, we forget that. And we move into a state of fear, into a state of anxiety, and many people become hopeless in terms of how they approach their reality. They just feel everything is out of their control. And I want to tell you right now that that is not the case anymore. You have in your hands, in your mind, the opportunity to change your reality. According to Time magazine, research done by Time magazine, happier people develop about 50% more antibodies than average in response to flu vaccines. That's very interesting, especially given the COVID vaccine now. What is this telling us? That if you're a happier person, ultimately, you have a better chance at survival. Happier people are more optimistic, and according to research, more optimistic people, this is according to Harvard University, have healthier hearts than people who are pessimistic. So there's a lot to be said about happiness and focusing on joy. And I guess it's easier said than done. And it is my intention to give you some tools in this presentation that will help you to reconnect to joy. But I found that research pretty interesting. Ultimately, it all comes down to perception. It's how we perceive our world. And we all perceive our world differently. Perception is a fascinating subject. And the reason why we all perceive the world differently is because of what is known as your frame of reference. And your frame of reference is a sum total of your attitudes, your feelings, your experiences, and your beliefs. And all of those influence how you perceive your world. And we never perceive the world in exactly the same way. But you have to take charge of your perception. How do you see your world? So not only do we have to take charge of our thoughts, because often our thoughts are very negative, we need to catch ourselves having those negative thoughts and start replacing the negative thoughts with positive thoughts, but we also have to change how we perceive our world. We have to look for things that make us happier and to celebrate those things that make us happy. So perception really is not what we see, it's how we see something. And we need to challenge ourselves. We need to challenge ourselves on how we see what is happening in the world. Because what we are focusing on becomes our reality. I think ultimately to change your world, you have to change the way you see your world. And your joy is not to be found in the past, but to be found in the future of possibility. The future of possibility. So what this is telling us is that we have to focus on the future. There is nothing we can do about the past. The past has come and gone. And I think we need to also be very careful of nostalgia. Nostalgia is great because we think about the past and how great the past was. But scientists and researchers are saying that nostalgia can be very dangerous because in many cases when we think back on the past, what we thought was great or great things that happened could possibly have never happened at all. So we glamorize the past. We start to live in the past when in fact we know that the past also had its challenges. So to create a new future, we have to focus on the future, focus on possibility to make good and great things happen in our lives. And remember that wherever we focus our attention, that is where our energy goes. So if you're focusing on what's not right, if you're focusing on all the bad things, if you're watching the news and the depressing news most of the time, well, that's where your attention is. And that's where you're putting your energy. So if you're watching something pretty miserable on the news at night and you go off to bed, you're not going to have a good night's sleep. So where are you putting your attention? What are you focusing on? So move your focus away from those things that don't serve you anymore. And find ways to focus on things that bring you joy and happiness into your life. So what makes us joyful? It's a very good question to ask. And I thought I'd share with you 8 principles towards a more joyful life. Just 8 principles. We only have this short time together, but these 8 principles are principles that I use in my coaching, in my presentations. They work for me, and I hope that they will work for you. The first principle is to be present. What does this mean, to be present? Well, to be present is to be mindful of the moment that you're in. What often happens, especially during difficult times, if we think about the past, we're in the present, but we're anxious and we're worried about the future. To be present means to really focus on the moment that you're in. Take notice of what is going on around you. Enjoy that time with family and friends. Enjoy your food. Mindfulness, I think, is so important right now. Take time out just to be mindful of those moments when you're with family and with friends. And if you are nostalgic, well, what makes you nostalgic is remembering things that happened in the past. Well, if those things were so great, make them happen in your present moment. Do those things that make you happy. It is said that if we want to become happier, then we need to do more of those things that make us happy. So celebrate every special moment. Sit down and have meals together as a family. Turn the TV off. Take walks in the park. Take your dog for a walk. Enjoy your food. Enjoy conversation. Listen to great music. Meditate. Pull yourself back into the present moment, because this moment comes, it goes, and it becomes a memory. And then you'll be nostalgic about this moment in the future. Now is a time to celebrate every single minute. The second advice I have for you is to practice gratitude. Over the years, gratitude has had a lot of good PR, and that's because it really does work. Lots of research by Harvard University shows us that people who practice gratitude are far more healthier and happier than people who don't. I'm on to I think it's my 7th gratitude journal now, and I make a point of writing down every day, if I possibly can, every day. If I don't, if I miss a day or two, it doesn't matter, those things that I'm grateful for. But why does gratitude work? Why is it so powerful? It's powerful because it evokes positive emotions in us. Serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin, all those good emotions that we experience come about as a result of gratitude. So gratitude is a feel-good thing to do. And you might say, well, you've got nothing to be grateful for. Well, let me tell you, if you're watching this from the comfort of your home, well, you've got something to be grateful for. If you've got family and you've got friends, you've got something to be grateful for. If you have an income, you've got something to be grateful for. There are always things to find to be grateful for. Brand new day, the birds singing, fresh flowers. There are millions and millions of things to be grateful for. Find them, think about them, write them down in your gratitude journal if you want to. But when you focus on gratitude, you also kickstart optimism. And optimism, once again, is that feeling that things will be all right and that things will get better. Practice acts of kindness is number 3. I think in this day and age, what we really need more of is kindness. I feel that people have become so impatient with each other, so aggressive. And that's very sad, because there's one thing that this pandemic has taught us all, that we're all one together. And what we need to do is look after each other and care for each other. And the smallest act of kindness can do amazing things. And if you see somebody standing on a street corner and you can give that person just 5 rand or so, give that person 5 rand. If you can make a difference wherever you are, make that difference. There's so many charities and institutions that are asking for assistance and support. If you've got clothes that you don't need, or you've got linen that you don't need, or there's food that you can give away, give it away, because in the giving, you will experience this wonderful feeling. And you will experience serotonin levels increasing by just giving away where you can. Acts of kindness can also just be a kind word to somebody who needs it, just to listen to somebody who's going through a difficult time, the ability to display empathy and to be present when that person is talking. These are simple examples of kindness. It's kindness that will turn this world around. It is kindness that will make this world a better place. And we all have within us the power and the capacity to bring more kindness into this world. I think at the end of the day, we all want human connection. We all want those interpersonal relationships, and we need that. In my experience as a speaker, what I've missed so much are conferences, the opportunity to connect and engage with people. I miss that so much. We've got the virtual reality, but it's not quite the same. If this was in a conference room, I'd be able to really connect with you and feel your energy. Well, we don't have that here. But I think ultimately we need to find ways of just being able to bring people together. And I think we need to show people that we really do care. Often it's difficult to really, you can't give somebody a hug virtually, but a few kind words, a little bit of praise, a little bit of recognition if you're in the corporate world, those things can make such a difference. I really believe that ultimately we all have meaning and we all have a purpose in life. But I think that our purpose on earth is not to get lost in the dark, but to be a light to others so that they might find their way through us. That's our purpose, to bring light into this world and to lighten up the path for other people. And kindness gives us the opportunity to do that. Number 4 is to live on purpose and passion. The 2 P's, purpose and passion, such powerful words. The interesting thing about purpose and passion is that most people in the world actually don't know what their purpose is. One of the most Googled questions is, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life? Well, it's quite interesting. A few years ago, I asked somebody who specializes in genetics, and I asked this person to tell me, if they could tell me, what are the chances of a person being born from conception through to birth. And she told me it's 1 in 4 trillion. 1 in 4 trillion. So in fact, you are actually a miracle. You're not here by accident. Or maybe some of you are. I don't know. But you're here to do something important with your life. So celebrate your life. Remember, the 2 greatest days of your life are the day that you were born and the day you find out why you were born. When we are able to find our meaning and our purpose in life, interesting things really start to happen. And it's called the neuroscience of purpose. When you're doing things that are aligned to your purpose and your meaning in this world, you activate all the interesting chemicals, the serotonin, the dopamine, and the oxytocin. And these are all the good feel hormones. And when you are doing things such as living your purpose, perhaps it's counseling somebody, or perhaps you are showing empathy as part of you feel your purpose is to make a difference, to be there to support people, that's your purpose. you'll activate all of these chemicals and hormones, and that can be quite addictive. If you don't know what your purpose is, or you're trying to find out what it is, you're welcome to go to my website, grantdriver.com, and I have a guide there. It's called the Prosperity and Purpose Guide, and you can download that. And in there, I've got some examples of what you can do to identify your purpose. But find purpose in whatever it is that you do. Whatever your job is, find meaning and purpose in it by asking yourself, what value does this that I'm doing, my job or my work, what value does this create for other people in the world? Because when you're creating value, you're being relevant, and I think that in itself makes everything just worthwhile doing. Number 5 is to learn to forgive. And the reason why I've got this here is because it is so easy to hang on to grudges. It's so easy to carry that feeling of hate around for the rest of your life. I've seen some people do that. And what a waste of life. When you forgive, you let go. Things happen. Sometimes things happen that are out of our control. People do things to us. But when you forgive, when you really learn to forgive and to let things go, you will be amazed at how powerful that can be. It's almost as if you're taking this heavy burden off of your back, you're putting it down, and you're releasing yourself. And that gives you opportunity to really start to live again. Forgiveness, I think, is one of the most powerful things we can all do. But not only to forgive other people, but to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for things that you've done in the past. Let go of all those regrets, because they have no meaning anymore. They serve no purpose. If you want to move forward and you want to be joyful, let the past be the past. Forgive yourself, forgive others, forgive experiences, and move on. I think letting go is one of the most powerful things that you can do to reclaim joy in your life. Number 6 is to practice serenity. Well, serenity is one of the most beautiful things. The word serenity is just lovely. Serenity is accepting what is. Accepting what is right now. When you can't change anything, accept the situation as it is. It is what it is. There's nothing that you can do to change what is going on in the world, but you can accept it. You can have the courage to change things that you can change. That's courage. That's fantastic. And then, of course, the wisdom to know the difference. But ultimately, if you can just be serene about what is going on around you, to accept it, I think therein is great power that you can tap into. And I think serenity, and people who are serene, have this grace about them. And they are more joyful, because it is what it is, and so be it. Number 7 is to develop a growth mindset. Growth mindset is a lovely concept. A growth mindset is the opposite of a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is where you believe that you can't do anything. You can't change anything. You don't like change at all. You don't embrace change. You resist feedback from other people. You have a negative attitude, and you believe that this is a situation as it is. A growth mindset implies that you're prepared to move forward. It's resilience. It's the ability to tap into your creativity, into innovation, and making good things happen. People with a growth mindset automatically come across as more positive, they come across as more engaging, and they're far more contagious in their energy. And what else should you add to the mix of all of this? Well, I think this is so important, and that is taking care of your body. Take care of your health. You have one body. You've got one shot at this life. So what I'm going to suggest is that you really make sure that you're eating the right food, you're not drinking too much, you're taking your vitamins, your nutrients, you're exercising, you're meditating, you're getting enough sleep, at least 8 hours sleep a night, that you're taking care of yourself. And you have to. For your family and your friends, you need to take care of yourself. Because you are here for a purpose. You're here to make great things happen. So take care of yourself. I hope that these simple 8 principles will help you to reclaim joy in your life. If you'd like to connect with me, it's grant@captivate.co.za or my website, grantdriver.com. Let's connect. Let's go out there and let's make good things happen. Cheers.
Grant Driver, what can I say? You're an inspiration. Thank you so much for giving us this presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to present this year's Lifetime Achievement Award. There are some years that PAFSA presents this award, and this is one such year. In previous years, recipients have been Renee Potgieter, Sonia Bollander, Colleen Mansour, Tanya De Ponte, and Charmaine Fourie. This award is meant to recognize a PA who has been in the profession for over 20 years, and during which time has not only excelled in the profession, but has dedicated herself by volunteering to serve in associations, official associations, or internal networks. It is only befitting that decades of dedication and service should be recognized. This year, the Lifetime Achievement Award is presented to an exceptional human being and not just an exceptional PA. She is one of 6 siblings, a wife, and has been married for 27 years. She describes herself as a mum of 5 sons and 1 daughter-in-law, a proud grandmum of a grandson and a granddaughter. As a PA, she has over 25 years of experience in this honourable profession, and she's a PA with vast knowledge and experience, exceptional interpersonal and organisation skills. She's efficient, self-motivator, and a good communicator, but the best part is always ready to give a helping hand. Over the years, she has written articles for Career Success magazine and its annual A to Z publications, as well as for the Star Workplace newspaper. She has facilitated courses to PAs across Africa and provided continued assistance to PAs across the globe via social media on evenings and weekends. In 2010, she was a finalist in the Office Professional of South Africa, and PAFSA invited her to attend the PA Summit and PA of the Year event as a VIP guest, and she has never missed a PAFSA event since then. The following year, PAFSA invited her to sit on its career committee, and she became part of the research for one of the blueprint publications for the profession. She's been an integral part of all PAFSA's intercommittee conventions and was invited to be a judge of the PA of the Year Award in its 2016 edition. Currently, she chairs PAFSA's Ake Sefunde M7's committee, and she sits on a few private organizations' committees to assist the community as well. PAFSA is very proud that she received an A aggregate pass and the Class Merit Award when she did the Office Administration Management Diploma course at Brandl College. This fabulous person is currently the Executive Assistant to the Human Capital Director, the CIO, the CFO, the Sales and Marketing Director, and the Group Sales Executive of Motors Aftermarket Parts. And proudly, a member of the beautiful PAFSA family. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for a grand lady, Feroza Sader, recipient of the 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you, Feroza, for all you do for the profession.
Well done, Feroza. What a worthy recipient you are of the Lifetime Achievement Award. And what an honor it is for us to have come to know you over the years and to witness your ready smile and your willingness to always assist wherever you can. Good morning to you all viewers. My name is Ornella Klinko, and I am one of the directors at PAFSA. As today's program gears for the final part, it is the right moment to acknowledge everyone who has helped us produce this event. First and foremost, I would like to thank a fellow director, Anna Maria Valenti, for all the hard work she put in for today and for over 3 decades of dedicated work to this profession. Secondly, a huge note of appreciation to today's speakers for their time and expertise. A special thanks to Sky Hotel for being a lead sponsor, and in particular Kim Peterson and her team for always being there to help PAFSA with venue preparations for this broadcast event. And our heartfelt thanks to PAFSA's partner, Enviro, and its team for all the work in the background to ensure we could mount this broadcast. Dimitri, Nicholas, Bev and Michael, a thank you the size of the whole universe. In addition to them, I would also like to thank Lilo Berg for coming to the party to help the team. And now I'd like to thank all the sponsors and prize givers for the PA of the Year, for making it special for the finalists and to make the event memorable so that they can take home some gifts to remember this occasion. To each and every sponsor and prize giver, thank you so much for coming to the party. PAFSA truly, truly appreciates your support of the secretarial profession, a profession which is evolving at a rapid pace and needs more than ever to feel supported as they evolve into a brand new role. Last but not least, the PAFSA committees for their unending support to PAFSA's endeavours, and to you all, PAFSA fans, members and friends, thank you. Thank you to all the viewers as well for watching this broadcast. May you go from strength to strength. It is at this moment that traditionally we see the current title holder deliver her speech as she passes the baton to a new title holder. Julie Iverson, the 2020 title holder, tried till the very last moment to be with us today, but is still recovering from recent surgery, and her medical team did not permit her to come. In discussion with Anna Maria, she asked us to say the following on her behalf, and I quote, in her words, "Good morning to you all, honourable custodians of the admin profession. First of all, on behalf of my tribe, the 2020 finalists in this award, I salute you for choosing this profession and to continue holding the fort wherever you are, in large or small companies, in CBDs or small towns, in the public or private sectors, and whether you do so from home or from your office at your workplace. I was the first PA of the year to take the title in unusual circumstances, dictated by an unusual year's health protocols that saw the world we live in become the year we survived in. Despite having last year's ceremony not take place before a large present audience of PAs, it was just as meaningful to be awarded the honour and responsibility to become an ambassador for the profession, a badge I will carry for life. As I hand the baton to the new tribe and the PA of the year 2021, I want to congratulate them for their achievement and wish them continued success in their profession as they are living a tremendous experience of innovation and evolution to the meaning of what office work has come to mean. The word office no longer means it is at a company's premises, and the word work today means an orchestrated symbiosis of human and technology. We have had to embrace a whole new language, a vocabulary of techno words and terms that our predecessors could not even begin to imagine would ever exist. And even the word communication itself has taken whole new dimensions. And so it is that our generation of PAs, EAs and admins live in historic times, and as we trailblaze a whole new way of working, we should stand tall and leave a legacy that shows we are agile and versatile and able to keep up, survive and thrive no matter what the daily challenge is that may come our way. Bless you all and keep up the good work.
May you soon recover and be your wonderful self again. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. My name is Renee Potgieter, and it's my privilege to be the chairman of the PA of the Year judging process. Many of you know that I have been chairing this award for many years, and it's always a privilege for me to see how many people are willing to nominate PAs for this award. It means so many of you are doing the right thing, the right way. Very shortly, we will be announcing who will take the title PA of the Year this year. And I'm confident that whoever it will be will do so in the name of the other finalists. It was the aim of PAFSA when they created this award 16 years ago that the title bearer is an ambassador for both the tribes of finalists as well as the profession he or she presents. You have met the 6 finalists earlier on screen. We wish them all well and thank them for having accepted to go on this journey. That alone shows they are not afraid to tackle challenges and stay the course. Surely that is key for a chairman, for a champion PA. Take those opportunities that may come your way. Say yes, as you heard Rhonda tell us earlier, and keep growing. Our theme today advises us to make it look effortless. And indeed, that should be in the DNA of every PA. And I hope that the 6 finalists today will embrace that as their slogan. From now onwards, the finalists are standard bearers for our profession. It's a badge of honor they need to carry with responsibility, humility, and the willingness to be of service to their peers. Together, they constitute the PA of the Year tribe for 2021 and should serve the year with the title as 2021 finalist or title bearer with dignity and spirit of gratitude for holding that title. Gratitude to those who have all worked at home and helped them grow their career. And finally, gratitude for their nominees who recognized of their work, brought them to the award's attention, and permitted them to go to this journey. An exciting journey for their career begins now as they embark on a project which will be a year long and involves tasks of uplifting the profession, knowledge found. On behalf of PAFSA and the award, I wish you continued success and continued passion for your profession. Shortly we will know who will carry the title this year, but I take this opportunity now to thank this year's panel of judges. Each of them has been a title bearer themselves. Antoinette Fick, PA of the Year 2008, Shalene Venter, PA of the Year 2015, Corinne Daniels, PA of the Year 2016, Sharon Kuhneman, PA of the Year 2018, Sherlyn Weber, PA of the Year 2019. Dear judges, thank you very much for spending your weekends on the various assessment processes. Your dedication to PAFSA, to the profession, is simply exemplary. Lastly, thank you to all for watching this event. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, South Africa's PA of the Year 2021 is Elzaan Snyman.
Well, I knew being one of the 6 I had a chance of winning, but I think in the back of my mind I didn't think I would make it. So thank you very much for this award. I'm honored and humbled for receiving this incredible award. it's even a bigger honor to be part of the group of PAs who carry the Coyote brand for the rest of their lives. Thank you to PAFSA for creating an absolutely amazing event today. Thank you for the main sponsors, Hotel Sky and Viral. Thank you to the judges, the keynote speakers, and all the prize givers. And a very special thank you to my nominator, Sonia de Wet, for believing that I have the ability to compete on a national level, and for guiding me through this entire process. And a very special thank you also to my managers for always believing in me and supporting me in whatever I do. To the other 5 finalists, congratulations. You are all worthy winners, and you deserve to be part of a POT 2021 tribe. I look forward to the year to work with all of you and for the project that we will be working on together. And to all the secretaries out there, today is Secretary's Day. Happy Secretary's Day. Enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning, good afternoon to South Africa and to all the countries that are watching us from all over the world. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the morning. A quick apology for the initial 5 minutes where we had a slight hitch, but as Diana said, technology can be a little disruptive. What matters is that you get on top of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, in South Africa and again all over the world, I have an important announcement to make today. In South Africa, we have been celebrating the first Wednesday of September, which is spring in South Africa, as Secretary's Day. The time has come for us to join the rest of the world and change the nomenclature. And therefore, as from 2022, Secretary's Day will now be known as Administrative Professionals Day. I'd like to thank PANZA and OPSA, the other 2 associations besides PAFSA in South Africa, for the 3 of us to come to this joint agreement. So today, happy Secretary's Day and happy Administrative Professionals Day. Thank you very much. Enjoy, and may you have a blessed life. Bye-bye.
Congratulations, we have a winner. Well done to you. I'm going to give you a present, but before I do that, I'd like everybody just to keep in mind, I do juggling workshops, corporate events, MC work, close-up magic at your year-end functions, you name it. And considering that I've been out of work for such a long time, I'm available for your next event. Thank you so much for having me, and here is my present to the winner. You're not impressed. I'll go a step further. I will post it to you via a post office. You might receive it deflated. You might also be deflated. Not impressed. I'll go one last step further. I will give away something special. Here it is. The scissors. No. Congratulations. And let's have a great day further.